Here I am, here you are, we are one. Welcome to the show, Kiss Army, and welcome to the Psycho Circus for another edition of We Are One, where today we're going to be talking about Paul Stanley telling us about Forever and how that song came to be. Recently in Ultimate Classic Rock, they covered how Kiss fought off bad record label advice to create Forever, and we're going to take a look at that today. When Kiss returned to the top 10 after over a decade away, the song that took them there was by Paul Stanley's Admission, an unusual composition by the band's standards. This article is written by Martin Keatley. The single was released in 1990 after appearing on Hot in the Shade, the first top 40 since 1979's I Was Made for Lovin' You. It was part of their bid to return to a heavier sound while retaining some features of their recent pop-tinged explorations. Forever was created to Stanley and Michael Bolton, who'd both been credited on the song, who'd met in Sunset Marquis Hotel in West Hollywood to work on it. The non-standard result gave rise to the assumption that the singer had taken the lead in writing process, and Bolton, who often performed it at his own shows, didn't shy away from his association. In 1991, he told the Washington Post, "What's really cool to me is writing a song that Kiss cuts, then the same year having a single recorded by Barbra Streisand. I have a catalog of songs I've written over the last 11 years that are now being recorded by artists all over the world." He added, "I send the songs to the artists myself. They know I don't write too many outside songs, so I'll send them something they're going to listen to it." Paul, however, presents a completely different story. Writing in 2016's Face the Music, he says the majority of the work had been his own. "It was somewhat uncharacteristic for Kiss. People pegged it as a Michael Bolton song since he was co-credited as a songwriter," Paul says. "Surely I couldn't have written it. In fact, after an all too brief initial writing session at the Sunset Marquis, Michael had so little to do with it that once it became a hit, he asked the Kiss office to fax him a copy of the lyrics. Only then did he start performing the song in concert and introducing it as a song he wrote for Kiss." Stanley went on to assert that many of the unique elements of Forever were there because he'd fought for them, citing the example of an argument with an A&R rep at the band's record company. "He sat me down in his office and said I needed to re-edit it so it faded out on the chorus. That was song arranging 101, and even though it could be effective in some cases, it wasn't right for that song. The ending was one of the qualities that made Forever unique." The desk expert pushed his opinion relentlessly, and with a tone that made it seem like more of a directive than a suggestion. "I'd had enough. I was doing this when you were in grade school," I told him. "I was at this label before you were here, and I'll be gone, and I'll be here after you're gone. So thanks, but no thanks." That was the end of the meeting. Forever reached number 8 on the Billboard singles charts, giving us our first top 10 single in more than a decade. Not long after, the record company Expert was replaced with the next one. So not surprising here that Paul had a lot more to do with this song than even on his co-writes. Aside from Desmond Child, right? When Paul writes, he always writes for him, right? He writes the song, he makes the demo, and very rarely does the demo change from the demo stage to the actual album, the final album version. You can go take a look at so many of Paul's demos that sound essentially the exact same, other than maybe a slightly different mix on the demo compared to the actual album. So for anybody to actually believe that Michael Bolton had a complete hand in writing this song, I think is ludicrous. The fact that Michael Bolton had to have these songs sent to him so that he could see the lyrics and then start performing it is crap. I think Michael Bolton, who is, more of a power ballad guy anyway, it makes sense that this song would be associated to Michael Bolton anyway, as Kiss is known for rock, etc., and not really that type of stuff. And while Michael Bolton does write most of his songs as well, he's not, known for working with many co-writers. So Paul Stanley, obviously, if you write with Paul Stanley, you're essentially helping Paul frame what he wants to do already. So Paul, I'm sure, wrote like 95% of the song, and maybe Michael Bolton threw out some type of concept. but I definitely think Paul did, I believe much more Paul's version than I believe Michael Bolton's. But let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. May God bless you, and remember, God gave rock and roll to you.
God bless you all.